Introduction. Meri Badrinath Yatra, written by Vishnu Prabhakar, is a famous travelogue. On seeing the picturesque nature of the Himalayas, even a non-poet becomes a poet and a philosopher as well. People from every corner of India come here. The grandeur of the snow-capped peaks captivates the mind. After the sightseeing places like the various forms of the Ganga, Garud Ganga, Vishnu Ganga, Pandukeshwar temple, mulberry trees, Kuber rock etc., comes the temple of Badrinarayan. This temple has the attraction of simple devotion and the splendor of nature. This travelogue has been selected with the objective of increasing the interest of students towards sightseeing places. Kalidasa has not called the Himalayas the king of mountains in vain. This mountain, which is always covered with snow, is not only the highest mountain in the world, but is also the most beautiful. In its region, who knows how many frenzied perennial Gangas keep awakening the spirits continuously. In its splendid forests of deodar and birch, along with the ferocious animals, the musk deer with fragrance in its naval lives. Here, where on one hand the world-famous Siddhs attained knowledge, Urvashi, the queen of beauty of the three worlds, was also born. Here the chirping of birds of various shapes and colors is heard all the time. Here, in a moment, the silver peaks of the lofty snow-capped peaks, wearing the crown of the sun rays, create rainbows, and the very next moment they get lost in the white darkness of cold fog. On reaching such a region, even a non-poet becomes a poet, and a non-philosopher also becomes a philosopher. So whether it is the search for Ganga or showing the way to the messenger of the lonely Yaksh, or watching the dance of Shiva Parvati, worshipping the deity or seeing the beauty of nature. In the past, as far as eyes can see, man has been traveling to the inaccessible regions of the Himalayas, and so when we got the opportunity to visit Badrinath once again last May, believe me, we were very happy. We had been there once in September to October. But that is not an occasion for a journey, it is for a walk. Pure blue sky, clear water, no crowd, nature free from the cover of clouds, fog and snow. Wherever the eyes get stuck, the mind also gets engrossed there. On the contrary, a journey in May is a journey. It has its own charm. The noise of the religious crowd is a reflection of the cultural unity of India. Countless men and women from different regions, wearing different costumes, calling the same deity in different voices, set out on the same path, proving that there is beauty and power in diversity, there is no difference, there is no division. Our group was also such a group. It included men and women, young and old, Vaishnavs and Jains, businessmen and students, rulers and editors, publishers and writers, Rajasthani, Hindi and Marathi language speakers. To go directly to Badrinath, whether you go via Pauri or Haridwar, T. To go directly to Badrinath, whether you go via Pauri or Haridwar, there is a bus till Pipalkoti. From there is a total of 31 miles of walking route left, but we went to Kedarnath first as per the rules of the journey. While returning from there, we turned towards a path that would take us to Chamoli. From there is a bus for Pipalkoti. On this route is Ushimath, the winter capital of Kedarnath, and Tunganath, the highest Hindu temple. This route is relatively dangerous, so its beauty is still untouched. We used to wake up at 3 in the morning every day. We would pack our bedding, get free from our daily chores, and hand over our luggage to the porters and move ahead by 4 o'clock. Those of us who lived in electric light found relief in the natural light of that region. It was as if we had gone there only to get rid of the fatigue of the glare. We used to walk 12 to 18 miles every day. Somewhere the rocky path kept rising, Somewhere the rocky path kept running down, narrow trail, on one side land-shaped rocks, on the other side deep flowing streams, somewhere dense forests, different types of trees, wild flowers, chirping birds, somewhere bright sunshine, completely shadeless path, somewhere severe cold and somewhere rain, snow, storm. A caravan of travelers was moving along, wearing different clothes, speaking different dialects, rich and poor, men and women, children and old people. Some of them are still fresh in our eyes. The 83-year-old woman of Tarkeswar who had neither teeth nor intestines, the 8-year-old cute girl Sandhya who walked on that difficult 200-mile path, the religious young lady of the Bengali group, whenever she spoke, respect and affection would overflow, the girls of Andhra Pradesh who kept singing while wearing caps and the talkative but big-hearted old man from Uttar Pradesh, who was making his daughter travel to reduce the grief of her husband and childless daughter. Some of them were on horses, some on dandi, some were also in palanquins. Children usually sit in palanquins. Most of the travelers walk on foot. Along with them slowly walk the porters laden with load and the panting dandi bearers. We would meet them, talk about our joys and sorrows, chant the praises of Badri Vishal, laugh and giggle, watch the small villages built on the slopes of the hill, the men and women working in the fields, save that memory in the camera, have tea and snacks on the rocks and quarrel with them and reach the next stop. There we would relieve our tiredness in various ways, bathe, wash our clothes, buy things and cook or get food cooked, eat, roam around, pray and sometimes even fight. Sometimes one of us would unintentionally become the object of laughter. One day we were eating food on a small rock when suddenly an elderly gentleman from our group shouted, "Hey scorpion, scorpion." We were startled. Where? He was giggling. Somehow he said, "It's on my thigh." Oh God, it really looked like a scorpion, but why doesn't it move? Everyone picked up candles and ran to catch it, but do you know what it turned out to be? A bunch of keys that had dangled from his pocket and come down to his thigh. But how far can these stories be told? On 29th May, at exactly 4 a.m., we left for Tunganath via Ushimat. The magnificent view of the snow-capped peaks that we got to see from this 12,080 feet high peak was extraordinary. So extraordinary that the life-threatening climb of 3 miles and the even more leg-breaking descent could not tire us at all. As the darkness thickened, the color of those peaks kept changing. As soon as the dawn and then the dry rays touched them, nature immediately yawned and sat up. Till now, one peak after another lit up with a smile as if the nymphs had burst into laughter, their rainbow saris started flying in the air. Rhododendron flowers started dancing. Birds started making music. Gangotri, Jamnotri, Kedarnath, Badrinath, Chaukhamba, all the silver peaks were shining in the sunlight. Chaukhamba looked as if a skilled painter had painted the playground of the gods in white color. Travelers take so much trouble to see these snow peaks solidifying into silver, gold and platinum, but only a few get this good fortune, because by afternoon everything there is hidden in the fog. We kept cherishing that good fortune in our eyes for a long time, but for how long? Badrinath was calling us. So Tunganath, Sagarvan, all were left behind. We did not stop at Gopeshwar either. After seeing the ancient temple here, its idols, and the ancient writing on the trident-shaped pillar, we bid farewell to the valley of Shiva. Now we were in the land of Vishnu I Badrinarayan. After reaching Chamoli, we caught a bus and stopped at Pipalkoti. From here the journey on foot began again. The valley of Badrinath does not have the beauty of the valley of Kedarnath. There is no greenery, no snow peaks, there is only the beauty of Alaknanda. Sometimes it roars with great speed, sometimes it falls from a height and forms a waterfall. Sometimes it flows in the depths, and sometimes it touches the road. At many places natural bridges of ice had been formed and streams were flowing here and there under them like naughty children break the circle of their teachers and run away making noise. The noise of the pilgrims was mixed with that noise because due to it being relatively easy, many pilgrims come to this side. We reached Garud Ganga with them. Here we heard that whoever takes a piece of stone home for worship after taking a bath in the Ganga without looking at it, does not have to fear snakes. But we had a friend who did not consider bathing necessary during the journey. Moreover, water everywhere in this journey freezes the blood. Once he was forced to take bath at such a place, so the poor fellow went to take bath. When he returned, he was shivering badly. We asked, "Tell me, did your heart freeze or did you survive?" He said, "How could it freeze? We did not let water touch it." The ascent of Patal Ganga starts from this Garud Ganga. Ganga is really in Patal, and the mountain on the banks keeps falling. The trail in the name of road is so narrow and crooked like the flash of lightning in a dark and terrifying cloud. But it is said that in this region Parvati did penance to marry Shiva. She lived on leaves for years, that is why even today it is called Parnakhand or Pakhanda. Listening to these stories, we reached Joshimat. Badrinath is only 19 miles from here. This is one of the 4 monasteries established by Adi Shankaracharya. Here we saw the mulberry tree, under which it is said that the great genius Shankar wrote commentaries on the Upanishads. There is a small town below. There are many temples in it too. Many of the idols in these temples are very beautiful from the artistic point of view. Further ahead, there is a straight descent of 2 miles, which takes us to Vishnuprayag at the confluence of Vishnu Ganga and Alaknanda. It is a very scary place. When has man's faith ever given up on the high bare mountains and the narrow deep valley? The caravan of travelers would pant, breath, sometimes look at Alaknanda, sometimes at the mountain peak, sometimes at the Gadhwali women, the epitome of labor, carrying loads on their backs, and move on. On the way, children would sing and ask for paisa paisa. Young girls would also ask for paisa paisa needles or bangles. We had been seeing this all the way, but it did not feel good. We did not stop at Pandukeshwar, the settlement established by King Pandu. Yes, we did see the temple which is said to have been established by the Pandavas. We also saw the peak where the Pandavas had played Chaucer for the last time while going for Nirvana. From here, the road goes to the famous Valley of Flowers and Lokpal, the pilgrimage place of the Sikhs. Seeing all this, we moved towards the final destination on 2nd June. On this route, Alaknanda descends rapidly from above again and again, forms waterfalls, and when the rays of the sun touch it, God knows how many rainbows are formed. There are many deodar trees here. From here we had to walk on snow many times. Finally we crossed Kanchanjunga and reached near Kubershila. This is the place from where the travelers get the first glimpse of Vishalpuri. There was a storm and I had already seen this Puri, yet I felt thrilled. One gets thrilled when one reaches the destination. Vishalpuri is situated on the right bank of Alaknanda. Almost all the facilities of today's era are available there except rides. More or less they are available on the entire route. It is said that in ancient times God had meditated here in the form of Narnarayan. In memory of that, the mountains on both sides of Alaknanda are called Narnarayan. Once there was a forest of berries here. Bir is called Badri. That is why Narayan is famous here as Badri Narayan. Built at a height of 10,480 feet, this temple is said to have been established by Adi Shankaracharya. The story before that is shrouded in darkness. I don't know what the truth is, but looking at the situation there, one can imagine. Who knows how many times fierce snowstorms must have destroyed this temple, and then the struggling humans, on the strength of faith, must have built these talking walls of stones. The present temple has no importance from the point of view of art, yet it has an attraction. That attraction is of simple devotion of the splendor of nature. For 3 days we kept looking at the splendor of that region. This city, situated on the banks of Alaknanda in the shadow of the snow peaks of Badrinath and Nilkant and in the lap of Narayan mountain, is considered to be the last village of India 2 miles away on the other side. Kyangchu, a crow-like bird with a red beak and red claws, the famous waterfall of Vasudhara, 5 miles away, was frozen at that time, but the beauty of this prison sleep was making it even more lovely. The thrilling joy we got in walking on the snow to reach its stream will never be forgotten. We saw other sacred rocks, streams and ponds, but the most important among them is the hot pond. In this cold region, the water of this pond is so hot that one does not have the courage to touch it. We bathed in it a lot. We kept thinking, who knows when it will become famous as a healthy place. We also worshipped in the temple. Saw the idol of Narayan in all its forms, adorned and sleeping. Saw Harijans entering the temple, saw the devotees getting overwhelmed, saw them crying in emotion, but the joy we got after listening to the music of a Mahatma who worshipped Brahma through sound in that free atmosphere cannot be described. There is no time. It was not there then, so we had to return. On returning to the motor track, I bid farewell to the porters and horsemen who were my companions in this journey. This temporary affection of the journey is also so pure. Now again the same motor, rail machine, the mind wants to go there again and again, but you all know the story of this other. Dear students, if you find these lessons explained is helpful, please share this video with your friends. Subscribe to our channel for simple and clear lesson explanations. Check the description for links to other lesson summaries and join our WhatsApp channel for daily Kannada and Hindi lessons, useful phrases and grammar tips. Start learning today and speak confidently.